how to run a MySQL server in a Docker container and connect to it or communicate with it from your host machine. Okay, first of all, we need to install or pull down the MySQL image. Okay, let's confirm my Docker version first, since it will be different. The method will be different in the future. Okay, and Docker pull. That's MySQL. I prefer use a static version like 8. Okay, and 8 is the latest version. I prefer use the static one because MySQL doesn't always compatible with its previous versions. Okay, and the Docker pull this, and it will be pretty fast in my machine. And since I've already done it, and it will load it from cache. Okay, and now Docker run this image. Okay, MySQL and 8, and it will generate a container from this image. Okay, typically it will work, but in this particular situation, it complains that you didn't specify a root password. Okay, so we need to run it again. Run it with a -e means environment variable, and give it MySQL root password. Okay, password. Let's use a simple one since it's a testing version. Docker run MySQL root password 123 MySQL 8. Everything's fine. Okay, and I want it to be running in the background. Don't print stuff on my current terminal. Okay, so I just give it a -d and let it run in the background, means daemon. Okay, and there you go. It's running, and let's confirm it whether it is running. For example, we want to send a command into this container which contains the MySQL server, and let MySQL tell us what its version number. What is its version number? God, my English. And Docker, let's execute a command. Let's say MySQL. No, let's first specify the container which will apply the command. Okay, and that container is this stuff. You can give it a name, an actual name or human readable name in the run with a -- name. And if you don't give it a name, it will generate a hash for you, and that's an identifier for the container. Okay, and now Docker execute a command on this container, and what command is that? It's MySQL version. Okay, and this part is the actual command that will be sent into the container. Okay, and let's run it. Bam! It's running in the background right now. Okay, and this message is give it directly from the MySQL server. And we can even run a SQL to confirm it. Let's say show databases. I think this will give me an error since I didn't pass any password. Okay, so just use it like a regular MySQL command. Let's give it a username, root, and a password. What's the password? 123. I remember. Okay, and now you can see the MySQL give you this. Okay, and if you want to interact with it like a regular MySQL, and you can pass NIT into this execute, and that means interactive TTI. Or interactive terminal. Okay, and well, it will give you this exactly like you're running a MySQL in your own machine. Okay, and let's say we don't pass this -e. We just want it to give me another terminal, give me another MySQL terminal, native terminal. Okay, there you go. Right? Well, and show databases. Okay, let's create a table or just create a database. Okay, create database. Let's call it task 1. It's running. right? Okay, and now let's quit it. And that's the first method to communicate with it, with Docker execute. And another method is by using this MySQL client. Remember, this MySQL client is in your machine, in your own or host machine. Okay, and you have to install the MySQL client. Let's see which MySQL, and you can see this MySQL is inside my host machine. And this MySQL command is actually a MySQL client. It's not a MySQL server. MySQL server is currently in our container, so you need to use this client to connect to it. And MySQL-u and the root and password is 123. And if you run it now, it will give you an error since MySQL client doesn't know which MySQL you're talking about. Is the MySQL in your own machine or a MySQL inside the container? So we need to specify a host is, let's say, host is, I remember it's 40 and give it a port. It's capitalized P, okay? And port is 3306. Okay, let's try it. It fails again, especially in Windows. It just doesn't work, no. So whenever we run this Docker, let me go back. Whenever we run this image, MySQL 8, this image, we want to specify a port mapping. Okay, we want to map it to maybe this 40 or let's say 12.7.0.0.1. Give it a host IP directly and give it a host port. Let's say 3307 maybe, and give it a port inside the container 3306. And this is the default port inside the container for MySQL. Okay, and now let's run it again. And it gives us a new running containers ID. And now we have two MySQL server running in the background inside two separate systems. Okay, and now let's try it again. MySQL-u root, and the password is 123, and this host is this. You specify this, and let's give it a port, a big P, and it should be this. Okay, it's the host port, and now it should be working. Okay, good, everything's fine. It's really useful when you building an app like a Node app or a PHP app, and they just need to connect to a MySQL server just like a regular one. You know, we don't want to run a Docker execute. We just want to use it like a regular MySQL server. Okay, and that's how it works. Okay, and you can show database. Okay, everything's fine. Well, where is the task one we've just created? Well, that's in another machine. That's in the previous running container, since we didn't specify the port and the host name. Especially in Windows, this step is really necessary. Okay, and now that's how we do it. Thanks for watching.